As I've been going over feedback for Project Clockwork, one question keeps rolling around in my brain. What if this is all I'm ever going to amount to? What if the only thing I'm capable of ever writing is just riddled with massive mistakes? And I'm incapable of writing characters that make sense. And I'm incapable of making worlds that make sense. And I'm incapable of writing. Welcome back to the crypt. Setting aside the whole very real discussion of what makes something good, which is a whole thing in and of itself, it's been hard to label what I'm feeling as imposter syndrome because I'm so new to everything, honestly. Like, I've been writing for a long time, but this is the first time I've tried to do something this massive before. And I've been slowly working on that, but it is very, very slow movement. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no systems in place. And what if I'm wrong and I can't actually do this? What if I can only write for fun and I can't actually do anything beyond that? And even though I tell myself facts such as editing clearly exists for a reason, that someone somewhere out there would like your work regardless, or even the fact that bad books exist. Lots of bad books exist. So many bad books exist. And no one really bats an eye. And like, even if I were to add to that pile, the world will not stop turning. But like, I really don't want to add to that though. Like, I really want to write something good. And it's something I really, really, really want to do. But like, what if I'm incapable of it? And honestly, the best thing I found to combat that was actually when I started to categorize the mistakes I was making under different headers, because I was trying to figure out what were like the top 3 main issues I was having with my draft. Well, if I could categorize it, boil it all down to like the top 3 problems, what were they? Because I want to do a video on it. I realized that those 3 issues were issues that I had seen not only in early works from my peers back in college, but also I was seeing currently in a lot of my peers right now, even though some of those people already have books out. They've already been published, whereas I haven't. And it made me realize, oh, so this is normal then. It's actually totally normal to make these mistakes, because when you're doing a very early draft, which Clockwork is, it's only on draft 2. That's really early in the creation process. When you create these early drafts, you have so much information that you're trying to get down on paper. Of course you're going to make these mistakes. Of course. I actually can't think of a single person who's been able to make a very, very clean first draft. Like, I don't think it's really a thing. People pointing to people like Ray Bradbury. I think I've mentioned this in a previous video at some point, but Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451, people like point to that of like, oh, he just typed it on a typewriter and then submitted it. It's like, actually, there were a bunch of years of editing before he actually produced it. There was tons of editing. And I think it was almost a decade of editing involved in that sucker. So yes, there was editing. But the thing is, people just don't talk about the editing process, like at all. It's why that's a major thing in my channel, is talking about editing. And I know it's dry. I know it's probably boring to a lot of people. But like, because people don't talk about it, when you're new to it like I am, editing at this scale, you don't know what normal looks like. Like, what is the normal, like, amount of work? What is the normal, like, no, everyone's so vague about the whole thing. A lot of these issues are common issues because it's just something you have to tackle in the creation process. It is part of the process of creating and crafting a world. And maybe if you like stick in that world and create franchises, like over time, in theory, that would maybe become easier because you have a firmer grasp on that world and built universe. But when you're just starting out and you're completely new to this, you're creating completely from square one. So of course there are tons of details that need to be worked on, and that's totally normal. Like, truly normal. This is Tuesday morning for most editors and writers doing drafting. Like, it's just a day. Everyone's going to struggle with this and need to correct it for draft 3, 4, 5, and even 6. These are common everyday issues that writers have to fix in their work. It does not mean that you suck at what you do. It just means that this is an early draft and 1,000,000% needs recrafting in these fields. I don't know how useful that would be to anybody else, but I guess if you're feeling a lot of imposter syndrome, maybe thinking that you can't do this because you just made so many mistakes, there's no way that normal people make this many mistakes, I would recommend just categorizing your mistakes under what they actually are. Like, what kind of mistake is it? Is it a world building mistake? Is it a character mistake? Is it a dialogue mistake? Like, honestly, when I started categorizing things that way, I realized everyone's making these same kinds of mistakes. It's the normal mundane action of getting a book from start to finish. And making it mundane like that definitely took some of the edge off, for sure. For me, anyway. For me. And I hope to completely defang this monster with my next video, which will be going over those top 3 things that I was noticing that were a problem in my draft. So if you're curious about that, or any more videos about editing and the process of it, and editing with me videos and writing videos, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification down below so you are notified of future videos. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have a great day.